07. Commanders. My name's Commander Will Fearion, leader of the Vortex Squadron. As you can see, having some technical difficulties today, which is not unusual for any particular day, but we're going to get through it, Commanders. We're going to push forward, and we're going to figure this out. Let's see. So, my chat. There we go. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so we've been working on some stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about the fleet carriers today. Nothing too heavy. Again, I've been having some shenanigans with my recording device. So, my giant recording device that works really well most of the time. So we'll get into that and so much more today, Commanders. Welcome back to the Vortex Squadron. Alrighty, there we go. At least that's working. So, as you may know, if you've been around me in the Discord the last few days, I've been struggling. Thought we had it kicked yesterday. Highlander and I got together and, hashed things out. We tried to figure it all out, but so I'm getting a sound desync from OBS, which is a really weird thing. I'm not sure if it's going to be better today. It's just one of those things. You go down a rabbit hole, and eventually the rabbit bites your head off and spits it back out of the hole. And that's happened to me several times. So I'm hoping that everything is fine. We're going to monitor. I may have to reboot, reformat my computer, which is always a fun thing. But it's been running quite a while, several years, a couple of years at least, 2-3 years, whatever it is. And she may need a refresh. It's not overheating or anything like that. It's just the sound from the gaming computer. Once it gets to the OBS, it's getting there when it's supposed to. The meters show everything's running, but then the sound doesn't get to my head no matter where I plug it in over on that computer. It starts getting a delay, and over time it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. So anyway, I know I'm a little late today, Commanders. Apologize, but sometimes I took a nap, and what happens when you take a nap. Sometimes those naps run a little long. So, but here we are, and I had to fix the sound again today. So we're going to try to, like I said, I may just do a whole refresh on this computer. Unless anything major happens, we should be fine to do that. So there is, okay, so yeah, we're recording on that. Yeah, so I'm just kind of going over different things, and we're going to look at these fleet carriers a little more deeply. There's still some issues going on with them, and I know they fixed some stuff. So Friday morning, some shenanigans was going on. They had to disable some functionality. There's a lot of shenanigans. It's like really weird, like, I hate when it gets to this part where it's like, yeah, there are things that are kind of, I don't know, questionable, gray area things that go on in this game. 07 to you, Urban. I think, is that centered? Yeah, that's centered. Okay. 07 to you. So there's some, there's, like I was saying, there's some gray area things. And obviously whenever something new comes out for the game, there's somebody, I don't know how there is this deep dark web of commanders out there that try the most insane things that you could possibly think of, that they know how the game works so well that they're able to manipulate things and change things, and basically exploits, or and not necessarily all of them are terribly bad. And in some cases, I agree that if the game allows you to do something, you should be allowed to do it. But at the same time, there's that gray area where it's like actually detrimental, or basically, how like, I don't know, how old most of you guys are. I mean, I do kind of between 25 and 35. But back in the day, when you get cheat codes to games, or when you get ways to circumvent systems, you go ahead and you do all that, and you cheat and cheat and cheat or whatever. And I don't mean cheat, and I mean you just run an exploit or run ways to get around stuff, and then eventually you burn yourself out, or you ruin your fun. Like, it's no fun anymore. It's like, I've already exploited this. Like, for example, one thing that always trips me out is that people, they don't, nobody that I know of, and I don't know, I'm not saying I know everybody, but I'm just saying a lot of people that I know aren't even interested at all in playing the power play. They just want the toys. And I mean, I understand that to a degree, but it's like they're saying, "Oh, I'm all done with power play," and it's like, well, no, not really. That's not that. Just because you got the toys. So there's some kind of mental thing there where it's like, okay, so you have all the toys, but now what? There's only a few of them that really, that in my mind are even, worth getting, to have. You got your hammers, and you got your prismatics, and you got your, there's the one that does, like, there's a couple of them that are really interesting to me, but all I'm saying by that is, and I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't do these things, but I don't particularly care to do that. But there are folks out there that do find things to circumvent the system. And now the thing with circumventing the system, if they're going that hard in the paint to circumvent the system or avoid playing the system, in my mind, that is a problem with the game, right? There are certain things, excuse me, there are certain things that really suck really bad, like landing on a planet. That's really bad. Now, is there a way to circumvent that? I've heard there is. Do I do it? No, because I don't like the method. And I think that when FDev sees something like this, then they should be a little more proactive at finding out why, or not fixing it so you can't do it, but maybe making it so you can, in an ethical, designed, this is the way it's meant to be way. Now, do you do that with a 10-year-old game? I don't know. Do you do that with a game that's only making 7% of the revenue for the company? I don't know, but I'm just saying. I wish they would, because these things are causing major havoc, and they're still even even over power play for people to get from 1 to 100. They find ways to do it super quick, and then they just don't play power play anymore. Or and I know some people do. I don't know how popular it actually is, because there's rewards for being the top level. You get all your perks and all that stuff, and stuff like that. And now this fleet carrier also has perks on it, which I guess have already been exploited to a nth degree, right? So yeah, it's kind of shenanigans, and I hope that I hope that FDev is able to look at some of that stuff now, that and I know they're going to be looking at carriers for a while, because there's still a lot of shenanigans. There's a lot of things that don't work exactly right, and I'm hoping they're going to make it work right, because right now it's kind of like, it's confusing, and it's one of those things where you can go buy a carrier, you can set it up, it works for the most part, but there's still some things that it doesn't understand from a multiplayer or commander ownership of something, to where the ownership, you should be able to do things. If you have the access to do it, you should be able to do it and not have too many shenanigans going on. like the purchase of the carrier, for example, is one. When you purchase the carrier, the anybody in the squadron should be able to actually make the purchase, because it doesn't pull, for whatever reason, it doesn't pull the money from your squadron account. So you have to have, somebody has to go buy it. So, but that person, you know, at least in my experience this far, you know, you have to buy it with the commander of the squadron. You know, so whoever's the the lead owner of the squadron, because a squadron is still pretty much attached to an account. Squadron is not a standalone entity, so you can make somebody else the squadron leader, and that seems to work okay. And I don't know if there's a cooldown on that or whatever, but you can if you have, especially if you have an alt account, you can kind of switch back and forth between who's in charge of this squadron. You know, so it's either me or my alt account, and then, you know, I can switch back and forth just to get things done. Like, for example, I had to buy the carrier because I was unable to do it with my account that I'm on now. I had to buy it with the account that actually it was the leader of the squadron, which is more of an entity than a commander, right? So Cygnus Prime was the original flagship for the Vortex Squadron. So I had made an account to where, you know, Cygnus Prime was the flagship. That's where we did everything. We went and we did our things. Malcolm, 07 to you. Good to see you. So you can, you know, so I had to end, you know, I tried to buy the squadron carrier with this account. It failed. I went back and, you know, and then had to go to the other account, my alt account, which was the owner of the Vortex Squadron proper. And so I bought, and then I had to transfer all that money, which was easier because of this squadron banking and all that. But the money for the carrier didn't come out of the squadron bank; it had to come out of an account. That's a problem. That needs to be fixed. No doubt. 07 to you, Uncle Jay. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. I took a nap this morning and it didn't go well. So, I mean, it went long. So here I am. All right. So then we got the squadron and we've been playing around with it. Now we've been setting things up. Not all the way yet. We've got busy. I thought we were going to have all weekend to do this, but then Sergeant called an audible and said we had to go do something for him. So we ran out and did some work for him, and I'm pretty much wrapped up there. I'm gonna move, you know, things around again. Holy cow, Slow Walker, where the hell you been, bro? 07 to you. I know you're still on the Instagram. I get my likes over there. I see them. you're my one liker. You like everything. Hope you like today's edition. She's pretty darn smooth. We got a new commander coming in today. We'll get to that here in a little bit. So mostly, like I'm saying, just to give people an update, I'm having audio issues with my recording computer. It's, you know, I've tried to remedy it several times, and now I'm thinking I may just need to get back and go ahead and reformat that computer and just start it over, because sometimes that's what you got to do, Commander. Sometimes you just got to start over, you know what I mean? And it's not that bad. It's just a lot of setup, you know what I mean? So it might take me a while. I may not be able to record, you know, for a few days while I, you know, maybe a week. I don't know. We'll see how long it goes. But how much time I can spend on it and get it working again. But it should be a no-brainer once I get it back online. And but it's working right now. But I don't know if you can hear that, but if I go down, if you watch on the screen, now for me, the sound is just a smidgen behind. The sound doesn't come out immediately, so in my headphones. And I've narrowed it down to the OBS. Now, my OBS had some shenanigans going on too, because I had a lot of plugins installed, and I think some of them caused an issue or broke over time. And now, you know, so there, and I've tried to clean it up, but I just don't know that I'm there. Probably need to just wipe it. Anyway, so with the Squadron carrier, once you actually get it, like I said, there were some confusing things. Like it tries to tell you the serial number that you're going to get for the carrier. That serial number seems to be associated with your account. Because I've done, even if you sell like a regular fleet carrier and you buy it back again, it'll have the same exact ID number. So that goes to your account. But now the Squadron carrier gets the ID number of your squadron, the actual squadron itself. So we had set up a long time ago, Squadron Battle Vortex, which is this place back behind me here. And then, there were some issues I had with getting the squadron transferred back to me after I went on my 5-year or whatever it was hiatus. And then, so we started a new one. So we started the VS-99 squadron. And so when you buy a squadron carrier with money out of somebody's personal account, because it doesn't want to take your money out of your squadron bank, which is really why you have one of those, I would think. And then you can it tells you that the ID number of the carrier is going to be the number of the carrier that you already own, or the one that's attached to your account, not to the one that's attached to the squadron. So there, like I said, there's just some flow issues, you know what I mean, where the flow is not quite there. But once I bought the carrier was assigned the intended number. I won't say it's correct. I don't know if that's correct, if they're going to leave it like that, or if they're going to make us do 6 character IDs instead of 4. I don't know how many carriers they're planning on people buying, but there are a lot of people out there that bought them, I'm sure, because it's for certain cases, I think, and I might go over some of that today. In certain cases, this is a work in progress. They're still working on it. Obviously, they didn't finish it, so it's not feature complete. But they also didn't say it was feature complete this time, so good job, FDev there. You get it, you set it up, and you should be and then adding modules. So I should move to a system where we can add modules. There's 2 new modules that are today, and we're actually gonna go down. We're gonna go meander around the carrier today. Because like I said, I can't do anything too heavy because of the sound thing, but I want to go ahead and do some things. Obviously, you can see we've got our little, as long as you already have an account with a fleet carrier and you have skins and stuff, the skins are available to your fleet carrier. 07 to you, Sarge. Good to see you. Oh, and Slowwalker, I'm glad you're back, buddy. And yeah, so you can see that you can't buy any of that stuff yet for the actual fleet carrier, but I'm glad that they allowed you to, if you already own stuff, that you don't have to repurchase it. But at some point, I'm assuming they're going to allow the carrier to have its own set of skins and things, and I don't know how far they're going to go. I'd love it if they went a lot farther than they did right now. We're going to disembark in here, and we're still going to look at stuff, but I also want to kind of do a tour. Sorry, I just knocked my magnetic contact active. Water. Hey, the lights are working at least a little bit today. That's good. Yeah, they're working. They were a little bit brighter. I think they turned them down a little bit. Commander Sarge. So yeah, this is a big old giant. Look at this. Okay, we're in a Mandalay. That's why it looks so tiny. But yeah, I mean, it's basically the same as a regular carrier. There's some differences, and we'll talk about some of those. It's a little bit. It was a little bit confusing for me at first because it's, the carrier is connected to the squadron, and then there's this bank and all this stuff. So let's just go ahead and go upstairs, okay? we're going to go upstairs. We're going to go to the concourse first, and we'll look around. I don't have the 2 new modules turned on. I don't usually use them. We'll see if the boys want them on, because it costs us money. This is cool. I love this, that they put the decals on the floor. I kind of knew that was coming because they did it in Power Play, so I was like, aha. But that looks really good. Looks really cool. So you see there's module bays right here. There's 1, 2, 3. I think, oh, maybe it is only 4. I thought there were 6. But yeah, okay, so it's definitely 4 module bays. 2 of them you can open now. They haven't talked about the bar. And what was the 4th one? There was Vista Genomics. There was the place where you get your guns and stuff. And then there's this one, which is where you deal with ships. Stuff like that. And then, is this the way we were going? I can't even remember. So you got, oh yeah, you got your those thingies. Now down here, it's pretty much the same down here. It's just a big room with seating, and then a little tiny stage up here where you can. And I say, you must not kill. No, I'm just kidding. You can. So yeah, so there's this. There's a lot of static things here. Now, a lot of this is just static stuff, and I mean, it's neat. It's not functional. Doesn't do anything. I like that. I like where the Phoenix is, and it's not a peacock. One of my guys, is that a peacock? I almost threw him out of the guild. No, that's a Phoenix, dude. So anybody, I guess, can get up to this command deck now, which is it's a nice command. It's almost identical to the other one. I think there might be a difference in so the window on this thing is just amazing, and then you can look outside. There, I think it's pretty much the same as some of the other carriers, like the Hammerhead one, and obviously there's your captain's chair. Anybody that can fly the ship can sit in this thing, which you can give access to people for that. Let's see, we can go over here. That thing is just massive. Like I said this the other day, but it doesn't look like they just slapped 2 fleet carriers together and called it good. This one they kind of did a little bit extra. And I don't even think that front note, I think that's custom, because it doesn't look like any of the other fleet carrier nose. It's similar to the default one, but you know, it is what it is. It's bigger. And then you got your, you got your little Phoenix everywhere. You got your desk like you do. You can't decorate anything, which sucks. And then let's see, so this thing right here, I almost feel like you should be able to interact with this or put a graphic up on here, your own graphic, or you should be able to switch it so that it can look outside, you know, when you're doing your briefing, because this would be like somewhere where you would do a presentation, and right now there's no way to do that, obviously, or even the logo's over there on the wall, but you should be able to do something with this. Whether you play an introduction video, something, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm just thinking out loud, commanders. I know they're probably not going to do that, but I would love it if they did. And then, you know, they got the dishwasher over here and a bunch of canisters. These are like coffee cups, I think, or something, or, you know, like these things, you know, the sippy cups. I think that's what those are. You got an ATM or something over here. What's over here? Let's take a look over here. We got, a coffee maker that doesn't do anything. Yeah, but there's a coffee maker. See, so that might be the coffee cups, but those are too small. We need where's our Hutton mugs? We need those in here. And then this thing, I don't know, is this an espresso machine? There's some shenanigans going on here, boys. I don't know. And there's a little control panel right there. What is this thing? I don't even know. But you know what? It's nifty. And they have plants. I like the plants. That's cute. That's nice. Nice to have plants around. You know, stuff like that. So we'll come back out here. We got a couple different options once we're out here. So you can see we've already seen all that. The deck looks just amazing. There's no traffic, though. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay, I see a traffic. I haven't seen anybody land on this thing, though. But we're not like too far out of the bubble. We should get some traffic. All right, so when you go down, we go down to the concourse. We're gonna go back down to the concourse. We're gonna go to the back of the bus here. We're gonna go back to the back of the ship. Oh yeah, I love it too. 07 to you, Highlander. Major disaster 07 to you. Sorry, I'm just going backwards up through the chat here. Oh, wait, it didn't like that I did that. Oh, hold on, I gotta reset my interaction here. Oh my god. Am I in trouble? Am I stuck on the command deck now? Did I done screw up? There it goes. Whoo-wee, man, I was getting a little nervous there. A little nervous. So we're gonna go down. I do like some of the stuff. Like I said, I like that everything is kind of you can share with your buddies. Now, if you don't have any buddies, you can do it solo, but you know, it's just a really huge expenditure for someone that's a solo, and I would have done it, you know, just to have it, just because I like the carrier. I think it looks cool. So we'll wait and see what happens with these. I hope they make an actual decent looking bar. That last one, the original one was kind of poo, and I don't know if they're doing any kind of update, but it would be nice. I wouldn't mind if you could just, you know, like either have like a disco or a dive bar, you know, different kind of bars you could get. We're gonna go back here. This is the back room here. We got some folks hanging around, milling around in here. If there's something in the wall, we don't know what that is. We don't want to know. Okay, so there's a little bit of storage back here. It's where we store the beer and wine and stuff. And then obviously this thing. Now, I like this vault door. Okay. However, I think you should be able to, yeah, the bar should have games and it should have karaoke, dude. What are you talking about? It should have everything. It should have stripper poles, strippers, hookers and blow. It should have all of it. Yeah, darts, cards, dominoes. Yeah, oh yeah, and pool. You gotta have pool, right? But I think that this door in particular should be interactable. You should be able to walk up to it and use the bank from here. That's just an immersion thing. You know, that's quality of life because, you know, just having it here, not doing nothing, kind of sucks. You know, World of Warcraft has one where you can walk right up to it and just, you know, talk to the vault, which is fine. That's normal. That would be okay. So they didn't do that for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I think the last thing, besides that other room, is we got one more room. We've got the jump cabin. So the jump cabin, I think, is okay. It doesn't do anything. And again, there's a thing in here. You'll see in just a second. I like the entrance. Looks cool. It's just it looks like a theater. However, again, they have a screen here. Does not interact. Does not have a video running. Does not even show the outside. There's no windows in here. This place is a tomb. You know what I mean? So it's not. I mean, it's great. Like I said, again, if you were here, you would be doing some sort of a TED talk or something. You know what I mean? You'd be doing a presentation. Casino. There you go. Yeah, you should be. Yeah, a casino could be a different version. You know what I mean? You could have like I said, a dive bar, disco bar, casino. They could do a lot of things, and they could charge for them, and people would pay. So I don't know what's the holdup, commanders. I don't know. I don't get it. So, yeah, and there's just I don't know. There's just not much going on. These just seems mostly just like a tomb. There's nothing fancy going on. There's a couple screens, but like I said, the screens should be interactable. You know, I know I always hate to reference other games. Not really, because Cyberpunk, they put in a thing called smart frames where you can actually take pictures from your game that you've taken or in the game directory, and you can display them on any frame. So any smart frame. So they could definitely do that with some of this stuff to at least make it a little bit more cozy, to make it a little bit more like home. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to stare at this thing. I mean, it's neat, but you know, it's not functional. It doesn't actually mean anything. And we know, us commanders know when stuff is shenanigan, and it's you know what I mean. It's not really the bar is probably the most important place to meet and congregate and hang out with your buddies, and actually being able to buy drinks, stuff like that would be great. That would be amazing. When you order a drink, where you could sit down, maybe sit to have an interaction where you can sit down and drink your drink and do whatever, or have a cig or whatever. I don't know, just something. So now I think we're done in here pretty much. Let me go to the. So at these now these terminals are functional, so you can actually interact with those. And then once you get into it, you can do carrier management and the squadron bank from here, which are both nice features. The carrier management, like I said, is pretty much the same. There are a couple new modules we can install, so those should show up in carrier services now, but they're not on. Yeah, so Vista Krista, Vista Geonomics, and the other one I didn't turn on out. I probably need to turn that on too. But the weird thing is I'm not even sure why, but maybe there's just some coding they need from a system that only exists in certain systems. And then you got your Vista Economics and your Pioneer Supplies. That's what it's called. Pioneer Supplies. That's the other one. Yeah, a movie, anything, Urban. I'm saying, yeah, you could put up your own photo, your own video, whatever you want to do. Now, video may be a little bit more tricky, but you know what? Even if it was just a smart frame where you could, just put a picture from the game that you took out on the road, or anybody took, they could, or even if it was like a slideshow where it could kind of go through and you could put up different pictures. I mean, they don't have to be super high resolution, but obviously, a lot of people that play this game think, resolution is king. So there's that. You got your, we have not set up anything to do with shipyard stock. I don't know that we will. I don't know that we have anybody starting in the game that's going to require us to give them anything as far as a ship. Yeah, you could have my videos running. Yeah, Major Disaster, that one.
That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted. You're a goddamn genius.
That's no lie. Major Disaster, getting some brownie points from Fearion today. The library. Now, see, here's the library. I'll show you. You can literally, because I already own a carrier and I've bought several things for it, anything I bought from my original carrier is available here. I think that's great. I think more commanders should be able to do that. Only the leader can do this part. So I think anybody that has access should be able to change the color. So if you got a coiner friend that's like bought everything in the game and he's got all, and you want to let him go in there and change the ship color, yeah, why not? Let's do it. You got your engine color. Let's see. I got all kinds of paint jobs, but I kind of like the red one. But you got, you can just sit here and change the colors to whatever you like. Squadron black. Only the reason I don't like the white carriers because they don't have it figured out to where everything shows up on every color. Pirate red. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing now. The default, which is fine. The default's not terrible. It's just plain. You know what I mean? Then you got, I got Squadron Shadow. That's a really cool one, but it's a little dark for taking photos, which even the white ones where we're at now, it ain't going to take no photo because the sun's blotted out. Tactical Graphite, which looks almost exactly the same as the Squadron Shadow one. It'd be nice if they had a few more variants of these. That would be great. Tactical Cobalt, which looks almost identical to the last two I just looked at. Squadron Red. That is not red. Let's do that again. Draw it again. Okay, that's okay. Well, that's what they think is Squadron Red. Tactical Crimson, which is another red variant to the one we're already using. I like the brighter colors. The Vibrant Purple. Now, that one's another one. If we were into power play, I would probably use this one. Because that matches with ALD, right? So then you got your Vibrant Red, which is really bright. That's a really bright red. and that's it. That's all the ones I have. If I was on my other account, then the purchasable ones would be right underneath this. But I like that they let you do that. Now, I don't know if they're going to continue to do that going forward, but if you paint it before they put in the new, different skin system, then, and it should be that anyone should be able to, donate artwork to this carrier. Yeah, I like that text. So which one's the tactical? I like, this is not right. Okay, there it goes. Sometimes it doesn't redraw real well. But yeah, what did you say? The tactical crimson? Which one's that? I think no, we have pirate red right now. Where's the tactical crimson? I didn't, no, tactical cobalt, tactical graphite, but I haven't read. I have it right here. Okay. Yeah, that one looks good too. So they're both good, but we're doing the pirate red, which is almost identical, but it's just a little brighter, which I like. Like I said, I like the bright colors. I would love it if they had neon colors, stuff like that. Because I look at it from more of a photo op situation. So anytime I can make sure that the colors pop, great for thumbnails, so I'm always thinking in that sense. That's why I like the pirate red. And, I also have the pirate logo on, and you can do the same thing with the decals and stuff. The engine details, like this account has pretty much every engine color. So you can change it to whatever you want. I think I have it set to red now or orange, one of the two. Might be orange. Oh yeah, it's the orange. Yeah, I have it on orange because I did kind of an orange and red motif. So we did a little orange, a little red. You can go green. Like I said, if you change one thing, you got to change something else. Like cyan doesn't go as well with the red. So the white's pretty cool. I do have one account with white on it. So, but only the squadron leader can do this right now. And I'm hoping in the future that any other commander should be able to change it if they have the access to do so. Change in the library can be a selection in your stuff. Then you got your, here's my landing pads. I have almost all the landing pads, not all of them. There's certain ones I just don't care about that much, but you can go white, purple, green. Ooh, boy, that's rough on that red, and yellow. So you can do all kinds of stuff. I think we went with the orange, right? So we got orange engines, orange pads, and red ship. You can see it proudly displays your name of your ship and whatever. You can also put those decals on, which is another great. You don't have to put any decals on, but I do. So Madeline, yeah, I think that's the right one. So we also have now these are just standard. I hope they get more of these because that is ridiculous. Research, I mean, my God, you're going to have to better put some shades on you to use that one. We're using the extraction one, which is a little darker. I like it. A little darker. We just don't need that kind of, and this one's cool too. I couldn't decide between these two, but since the ship is red, I went with this one because then the yellow's in there. So we kind of use orange, red, and yellow as our squadron colors. So that's good. So we want it to be as matching as possible, right? Now you can also go here, identification. Right now I have the pirate white on there. Now see that depending on what color your ship is, here's the other rub. The internal of your ship is dark and you can't change the walls in there. So you mostly need to have white in there or it doesn't look right or it's dull or washed out. So if you want to do that, if you want to use white, then you can't have a white ship or it won't show up. And so you can change how you want this to look, all kinds of different things. You can put bullets and I mean, whatever you own. So I own all these different ones, right? So you can just do whatever. Now you see on this one, it kind of bugs me a little bit because it's not centered. They're going to have to fix that because that's not right. You don't want it not centered. You don't want it going off the edge, or at least it doesn't look centered. Maybe it is centered, but it just doesn't look it, and it goes too far. I don't like that it's going into that black stripe. I would not pick that one because of that. This one's okay. Now, see, even this one, the VSS, the bracket on the left is off the screen. The font needs to be a little bit smaller. Just a little, just a smidgen, maybe 2 points smaller. You know, stuff like that. This looks okay. A lot of them look okay, but once you get them on there, you may or may not like what you get. So, and if you have a white, mostly white ship, some of that stuff will get washed out. Let's see. So yeah, you can do, there's all kinds of different versions of this. Yeah, that's okay, but it's like, seriously, you see how you can, it's not, it doesn't look so good. And if you look on the inside of the hangar bay with a black, it's almost invisible. So it doesn't look good. It's too dark, right? So you can't adjust any of that yet. Hopefully they will look at that. Now this thing is just ludicrously wide, you know, so that, I don't know what's going on over there. I guess it looks okay, but I can't see, I guess I can't really see. Oh, here we go. There we go. Yeah, see how it's off to the right a little bit? It's not centered. That's a no bueno for me. That one I would be upset about. This one, yeah, okay. Yeah, this one's okay. I like a lot of these, but they need more of this stuff too because they don't really have very much. I think they just never figured, you know, maybe they figured people wouldn't do it. But like this one looks great. This one's perfect. You know, that's really why I picked it, because it's centered. It's like, okay, centered. We're in. All right. We've got El Kabong in 07 El Kabong. Good to see you. I'm just going over some carrier stuff today. Like I said, I'm having some sound issues still. I might have to reformat my secondary computer, and I'm not looking forward to that. So this one's okay. This one's okay, but it's too dark. Like I said, you got to have it in the white version, or because then otherwise it won't show up downstairs. This one's okay. This one, I like this one too. I almost went with this one, but then I was like, let's go with the pirate one, because I like that pirate one. Yeah, I like the red too. It's a really bright red, which I like for photo ops. Of course, you still need the sun, because without the sun, you don't see the red at all. It's pretty much, you can't see it right now. Ship is completely in the dark right. I like this one too. I like this one. This is cool, but see, it's not centered, so that's annoying me. It's not centered, commanders. I can't deal. This one, not centered perfectly. It could be over to the left a little bit more. Now, I don't know if they're going to get into these details, but I would certainly not be upset if they did. I just can't use these on the ship, because if I see that it's not straight, I'll freak out. And then, yeah, so there, I like this with the little check marks for kills or whatever that is. Yeah, we need that one. You know, we need one with like 5,000. You know, there we go. Oh yeah, that's better. Now this one's, see, it's off center too, but you know, the VSS Phoenix Raven is off center. This one, you can tell it's a little off center, because the words are not centered to the graphic above it, which would annoy me. This one, I like this one, and it's still not centered, but it looks okay. It would be passable, right? So then there's this one. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. It's not centered, but it's passable, because if it doesn't cross the line, you know, like coloring outside the lines, that's no bueno, guys. That was the thing. You go back to your Crayola days. When you had them Crayolas, you need those. And I don't like that at all. What is that? That one does not look good. That one was like, that should have been a giveaway one. And I don't like this one either. This one, now, I do love this Alien. Now, I can do that one too, but since we're not really doing AX stuff right now, I don't use it. But that's usually the one we would put on when we're doing AX. But I also would change the hull to corroded. That's what I usually do, so that it looks like we're getting into some shenanigans. Now, there's a lot of other things you could get, but like I said, a lot of them aren't centered. So, and I don't even know what the hell is that. Practical one white. Okay. This one's, I mean, some of these are okay. I know I'm not, these might be new. I don't remember these at all. Do you guys see these before? Well, yeah, but I don't want to slow walker. I mean, I don't want to be the one that has to fix it. You know what I mean? I don't want to, you know what? FDev needs to make it centered. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be the one that has to fix it. I don't want to have a space in there. And then I'll know there's a space in there. It'll drive me nuts. And you would actually have to have the space on the end is where it would be actually. Actually. Now this one's not bad. Very simple, but it's not centered. Drives me nuts. This is new. I think. I don't remember this one. I don't know. Maybe you guys do. This one, which is really weird because it's showing me the ones you can purchase. Can you purchase these now? Yeah, I guess you can. So there are some that are working. Because, yeah, they didn't have all these other options on the color of the ship and stuff. Little late, Nugs. Yeah, I took a nap, and I was up late because Sarge made us go to work on the weekend. He's like, "Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah." Okay, all right, fine, we'll go do that. But I'm done with that now. I just got to move my carrier again. All right, so yeah, so there's some things, there's some. See, this one's not terrible. This one's passable, but I don't like whatever the hell that hugging the alien head. No, we're not doing that. No, there's no space in the front. You can't type in the name. It's pulling the name. Oh, you mean from the... Yeah, it doesn't have... I'm pretty sure it doesn't have that. Let me look. No, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. How do you rename the carrier? Oh, it's in the library. Well, let's find out if you're right. Nope. See? No space in the front. No space on the end. Okay? It's off-centered. Guys, I'm a graphic... I've worked for graphical publishing companies my whole life. I got it. I got this. So the carrier ID, obviously, that pulls from your squadron ID. Now, the squadron ID, that's another thing we can look at, but let's go ahead and go back. And we'll go to the squadron tab. I think it's in here. Is it in here, or is that just the bank tab? Let's go to the squadron tab. We got to go back to the ship. And we'll look at some of that because there's some shenanigans in there as well. So we should be able... Now, see, I don't know if you guys know. See, I can tell that sound is off. The sound is delayed for me. That's why I'm not going to do anything too heavy today. But let's see. We're going to go to the hangar. We're going to go to see Milano. And... yeah, see, for me, like the doors, when the doors closed, it didn't make the noise right away. It took 2 seconds. And it just gets worse over time. It just keeps getting further and further out of sync. So I'm not sure what's going on. It's a shenanigan. I probably installed one too many plugins over the years. I thought we had it cooked the other day. Highlander helped me for a while, and we were, because I can go to Highlander and like start bouncing things off of him, and then he'll start telling me what he knows, and then and then whatever we talk about, it always like jars something in my brain to go, oh yeah, let's try that, let's try this, let's try that, and we tried like a million different things. So, excuse me, sorry, getting old, boys. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 4 panel here, the ship panel. We're going to look at the actual squadron. I think we showed everything there is to show in the inside the carrier. It's a little bit bigger. Like I said, that one room's like a tomb. I don't like it. It needs a little bit more something. It needs something. It needs the stripper poles, something in there. Something needs to be in there to make things right. So we're going to go to the squadrons tab here. We're going to look at this. So, as you know, we do have a squadron. What luck. Some of this bulletin board thing, this is one I wanted to look at. The bulletin board, if you create a post, you type in your, we're going to do test message. Fine, it's all uppercase. I don't care about that. You can go up to 50 characters. This is the one that really bugs me. Like, this is a test. Now, you can't do a carriage return. You can't. So I can't, like, what the hell? Even control enter, nothing works. And it's driving me nuts. How do you, because then if you can't do that, if you want to go to oops, watch this. Sorry, this is a test. And then if you want to go to another line, you basically have to put spaces in, which takes up, yeah, see? And then, you know what I'm saying? That's silly. That should not be the way it is. And then it takes up a bunch of extra spaces. You should be able to paragraph this stuff. Okay, let's try it. We're going to, Lilo, thank you for the suggestion. 07 to you. Let me, and Nugs, I didn't get you an 07. Sorry about that. So let's try shift enter. Nope, doesn't work. Nope, doesn't work. There's no way to put a carriage return in. And, oh wait, let's try this. I was just thinking, hold on, isn't there Control M? Nope, that doesn't work either. Shift M. Nope, that's, sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah, no. Alt M doesn't work. Nothing works. So you can't put carriage returns in. So it's literally a wall of 500 characters is all you can make unless you cheat with the spaces, which, okay, publishing company guy right here, that's not bueno. No bueno. We need an enter in there. And obviously, you can't make paragraphs. So there's type. Oh, is that what you? Okay, we'll try the Australian suggestion there. Good job.
That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a
It's not
goddamn
gonna
IQ
work.
of 160. You are goddamn gifted. You're a goddamn genius.
You're a goddamn genius, bro. El So yeah, return. No, that's not gonna work. I tried because you used to be able to do like in Word like a gazillion years ago. You could do the other thing. I guess. Here we go. 07's coming out. Extreme 07 and Gerwin 07. Yeah, you got a goddamn genius because you're a goddamn genius, but it doesn't work. But it was a nice suggestion. So anyway, that's one thing that's really irritating me. I don't care. I mean, technically, yeah, you should be able to add like memes or pictures too. But you know what I mean. I would love it just to have a carriage return would be amazing. Okay. Oh, you want me to try that? You want me to try HTML break? Nah, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, no, none of that works. Nothing works, guys. I've tried it all, but I didn't try HTML because it's not an HTML editor. I guess if it would be cool if you could go like, so wait, you should be able to go like, so it would be this, and then B, and then /BR. It would actually be like that. Now, if you could hit enter and then it would do that, that would be great, but it doesn't do that. So they restricted a lot of characters. I know in the patch notes from yesterday, we can look at some of the patch notes too, but the patch notes from yesterday, they were talking about how they put more characters available in to some of this stuff, which is great. And they did something with the I guess the profanity filter was a thing. They've got a profanity filter on some of this stuff. Like, and that's another thing that sucks. Hold on. We can look at that too. So we're going to go ahead and cancel this message because obviously we can't do it. Tab. Oh, I didn't look at tab. Let me see if tab works. Test again. Let's go test. And then let me go down to the message box. Let's see, tab. Tab. No, tab doesn't work either. So you can't even do a tab list, which I would be okay with the spaces as long as you could use the carriage return, but you definitely need a hard return or a way to do paragraphs. Whatever that key may be. Like I said, nothing really works. So you can't do it. So no, tab does not work. So, and that's something I know they can fix, and they will. But I don't want to be the only one complaining about it, because then they'll just ignore me. But you know what I'm saying? When you got a 500 character wall of text, you have zero chance of anyone ever looking at that. Not that because if you see my posts on the Discord, you'll know I try to make things in readable bytes, or readable bytes of information, because I know people a lot of times won't even go past the first paragraph. So I do little tricks to them to try to get them to read more, so I do little things like that. You just, as a squadron leader, you over time, you learn to try to do tricks, and it works on some people, but there's just some people that just ignore everything. Doesn't matter how much I post, they still don't care. And this will be the same thing, but at least it's in game, where people that don't want to use Discord for whatever reason can come here and still get information. But until they fix that, it's not really great. So yeah, so there's this. Yeah, so I just put in little notes, and I tell them to go to Discord. I tell them they can donate. We still haven't done much with that yet. I don't know how that's going to work out. The sharing monies and letting people pull money. I don't know that that's even, because oh, Sarge, I love you, man. Sarge said he pays attention to every word. I am very, very grateful to have you as a member of this squadron, sir. 07. All right, so now there's a bunch of leaderboard shenanigans, but we're gonna forego that one yet. Faction. Okay, what's this faction one? Okay, so this, I guess you can. Oh, this is all of our systems, right? So we're in 123 systems. How do we do that? Somebody build one? Sarge, did you build a new system? There's 100. We're in 123. We've got 3 controlled. That's huge. We could never manage all that, right? So, but I'm assuming that some of the ones that we have controlled are ones that were converted. If whoever's when you create a system and call yeah, oh, extreme. Yes, you are a good boy. I'm sorry. He did sidetracking me here, boys. All right. So listen, you can when you colonize a system, you go to I'm not gonna do the whole spiel, but you go get a system, whatever system you have to find a system that's within 15 light years of another one, right? That's already done. That's already colonized. That's how it works, right? So once you pick one, right? You pick a system. It's within 15 light years of the one you're at to do the purchase. You pay you 25 G's. So what happens is that system, when you get it built, it takes the. Oh man! All right, you guys. All right, El Kabong. That was a good one. All right, now, listen. So once you get the system and you build it, it populates with factions. Hold on, I'm going to go out for a minute just so I can show you that part. Okay, so if you go to your status tab, you'll see in here. Okay, so when we populated this system, this is one of our systems, actually. This is one of our first ones. We did not yet have the Vortex Continuum connected to the squadron, or I disconnected it because I wanted to see, first of all, if I could change it. And then they're supposed to be bringing that back too. But the minor factions, you used to be able to get them, you had to fill out an application. And I don't know if they're going to do that again. I'm hoping they're going to do that again. But you basically had to fill out an application. You had to have a certain, back in my day, you had to have a certain number of followers on a certain platform, on any platform, or together or whatever. You had to, they kind of did it kind of like a partner thing, where if you had all this stuff, you could you know, have a system minor faction. Plus, it had to pass the test. Nowadays, they could charge for it. They could just say, okay, you got to fill out this application because you have to say what the minor faction is. So, like Pilot Syndicate is you know, we're allied with them. Good, good. But Pilot Syndicate 4 was from the previous system that we, you know, made our system from. And what it does is like the first two would be whoever is in charge of the previous system, and then there's one underneath that. The third one ends up being your minor faction if you are. Well, they should put it back. They actually mentioned it on one of them FUs, right? So on one of the Frontier Unlocks, they mentioned the minor faction thing. So I think it intended originally to come back. I think it should come back because that's actually the minor faction is a really cool system. However, you should be able to create one. I guess they just don't want, I mean, I guess if they charge money for it, like say, just as an example, say it's $20. You pay $20, you fill out the application, it checks your name, make sure it's not, you know, so everybody doesn't have Dick and Balls as their minor faction name. And then, you know, then lets it put in. Now you can connect your squadron to any minor faction in the game. So if you want your minor faction to be, you know, Azimuth, or any of that Biotech or any of those guys, yeah, you can do that. If you want to be a member of or support a minor faction that's a player group, you can do that. Say you want to do the 13th Legion, or you want to do AXI, or you want to do, you know, fatherhood. I'm sure they would love that because they like it when their name's all over everything. Same with AXI. So, you know, you can do that. And so the third one is usually the minor faction that you are pledged to. Since we weren't pledged to a minor faction, it defaulted to, you know, the Pilot Syndicate, and then the third one was, I don't know, some rando thing. I don't remember exactly what happened. In later systems, the Vortex Continuum comes out as the third power, or third minor faction. So then you can go. Then that's how we populated so many systems with our name in it, because it's just, that's easy. Now, I don't know if the BGS is still working right or not, but, you know, or if that's coming back, or if that's getting worked on, or if they're fixing it, or because I know there's some issues with it. I hear on the Loose Screws guys like the BGS and they like power play and stuff, so they kind of pay more attention to that. It's a podcast, by the way, if you haven't watched it. It's okay. It's an American-based one, which, you know, I'm kind of an American, so let's do that. We can do that. So anyway, so back to what was I working on again? Oh yeah, we're over here. So we're looking at guild stuff, or squadron stuffs. All right, so we got to go to. We got to go back here. Go to this thing. All right, so there you go. Now, in the squadron details. Okay, this is another place that's kind of junk. That's kind of crappy. Your squadron ID, you can type here, but it just comes up with an error. So if you find one that it gives you the green check mark on, you can change it. It says you can change it, but then when you go to save, it says no. It says, how about no? So if you go like, that's just for an example. If this changes, I'm going to be mad. All right, hold on. See it? Yeah, see unknown error. But, okay, but it also says it's unavailable. So somebody already did 6969. So, let's see. BFRE. Let's see if we get a green, or let's do this. VS, wait a minute. VXSN. See if that one comes up. No. It did come up the other day, though. So that one, okay. Oh, there it goes. See, now it says it's green. It says it's good. If I hit save changes. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. I think it works now, boys. I guess we're changing our tags. Okay, so let me see. Edit squadron details, VXSN. Okay, so yeah, you can change the squadron ID. Yeah, I did. I just hit save changes because I didn't want to deal with that. Let's see if the motto works now. This is what I really want. Oh, this one you can't do hard returns on the mission statement either. So that's another one. Let's see. Squadron never leaps. Naps are okay. Okay, I'm just going to do okay. Yeah, I like that. Now, let's see if that works. This was not working the other. Oh, where'd it go? Wait a minute. Went back to the. Okay, well, it turned it all to upper. Okay, that's doable. Let's see about here. Testing, and then we'll see if we can do a hard return here. See, we can't do a hard return here either. So you can't do any. Oops, shoot. Sorry about that, commanders. Get a little carried away with the key presses here. Your mission statement, you can't do any fancy mission statements without doing spaces or tricking it in some way. So, like if you try to copy, edit, say you try to copy and paste text. So let's say we're going to go to Anara. You can't copy and paste text either because it won't take the hard return. So let's see. So if we go to Squadron, let's see. Where's our mission? Yeah. So here's our mission statement in Anara, right? And it's a run on text, but it's not. Okay. So let me see. I'm just going to control copy that. All right. And it's within, I think it's within 500 characters. Even if it's not, it should just cut it off at 500. But it doesn't do that. Yeah, see, so. Okay, so there, it just doesn't work, right? And you can't do any kind of hard return. So it doesn't work right. So if you want to do something, you could do, like, I think we could do, let's do this. Let's do this. So our mission. Yeah, I don't like that mission. There's another document that's just the document. Let's go back to Vortex Squadron. There's another one where I like a lot better. But there's another one that I like better, but you could technically, if I want it, I don't really like this mission statement. I need to fix it, but it's, but you can't just cut and paste it. It just doesn't work. Missions, trying to think what I want to do here. Okay, let's do details. So you can see in Anara has been available for a long time. You can support the minor faction, which is Vortex Continuum. Now, the Vortex Continuum itself is like an anarchy faction. We had to set up that. We also had to set up, some other information about it. I think even on the system, on our home system, there's a place where you can see like a mission statement there. And back when I wrote it, it was very much about being a hired gun, all this stuff. We talked about all that, and you could put all that in the game and it would show up on the system itself. But now we're having a problem with that. So let's see. I just like really, I think I might have wrecked everything, but we'll find out here in a minute. Squadron Discord, Vortex. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is the part I like. This is the one I like. So you can go see, but this is one where you need hard returns. And now let's just say I just want to take this part. Let's see if we can put that in. Let's see, right here. Control, okay. It doesn't even let you do a Control A to highlight everything. Okay, because it's just going to override it. Wait a minute. No. All right, hold on. Let me just back out of that. There we go. Let's see, Control V. Yeah, so I don't know. You see, it's only 100 characters even, and that was not even aligned with the return in it. So it's weird. Let me see if I can do it another. See, this is why it needs to be fixed, because here we go. Let's see. Our mission consists of looking at the gallon depth and throwing some of. Okay, let's do this. We'll copy that much. How about that much? See, I'm into this old school trying to trick stuff. Okay, let's go down here. Go down here. Yeah, it says profanity. What word in there is profanity? Let's see. How about that? That it likes. Now let's see if I can go more. Let's do more. And then let's go throwing some of those parts away and replace them with invented new ones. Okay, the dash is probably what's throwing it off on this one. So let's control copy that. And then we do control V. Oh, dang it. All right. You see my issues, commanders. It's a pain in the total patoot. I like that part though. Anyway, yeah, so if you're gonna do that, you gotta do some shenanigans. Because you don't want it to delete. Okay, so now, okay, here we go. Let's do it this way. See if it'll let me insert. Let's do this. Boing. And then go right here. Control copy. Now I want to defeat it. So now I'm trying to trick it. Aha! Yeah! All right. Throwing some of those parts away. We invented new ones. And then we want to go down here. And we want to... oh. Yeah, it doesn't even let you cursor through your message. So you can't... So you have to do it backwards. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is insane. So yeah. So, okay. I think I know how I got to do it now. I can do it the insert way, but I can't go to the end of this. Like it's not letting me. Oh yeah, it will. Okay, if I go all the way through. Okay, there we go. Even that sucks. Okay, and new ones, and then a comma. Can I put a comma? Okay. So far, so good, commanders. We're on a roll. Hold on. We might be able to do this. And then. I don't think I need a comma there, but hold on. Let's control copy that. And let's get that sucker in there. Let's see if we can go back without deleting anything. Yay. Space. V. And then. Okay? That's what we do. That's what I'm saying. That's what we do. I don't know if that's actually... Uh-oh. What in the hell? What is the profane word in there? And then... Wait, is there two spaces here? Hold on. Hold on. We're looking. We're looking to see what it's mad about. It definitely detected some profanity. Then reassembling that new galaxy and ruling over it. Let's see if that works now that I took out the extra space. Nope. Still finds an issue with some word. Oh, ass. It's seeing ass. I'll bet you. $100. And then okay, hold on. Let's do this. Ass. Yes. Can you believe that? That's insane, dude. Hold on. Let's do oh man. Oh, it wants to change it to working that new galaxy. Okay. All right. We'll get the word ass out of there. I mean, how could I? How could I, commanders? Oh, okay. All right. We got a new word. Okay. Reworking. Can't have ass. I guess we could do rebuilding as well. No reform. I like rebuilding, though. I'll give you the rebuilding one. Hold on. We're almost there, Commander. This only took how many? Like 20 minutes just to do this one thing. Building. Now, see, I wrote that stuff in an ARG. God knows when. Restructuring. I like that one. No, I don't want no structure. Rebuilding that new galaxy. Okay, and rolling over. Okay. Now, why? Okay, so weird thing is it doesn't let me. It wants to put that in all uppercase, but not anything else. So I can't. Wait. Let me just wait. Maybe that's my fault. Hold on. I might have did an oopsie. Hold on. Let me just make sure my caps lock wasn't on. I think that maybe be why that first thing didn't work either. My caps lock might have been on. Of course, it doesn't tell you that, but let's try this. Rebuilding. Okay, that was my fault. All right. That one I'll take the hit on that one. That was me. Okay, there we go. Let's do that, and let's see if we can do that with this one. Because it does let you type it. Never sleeps. Naps. Okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe it doesn't like that period. Let me see. Naps. Naps are okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I think we got it. I think there was an issue with my caps lock being on, so that's weird. Okay, that wasn't one of my complaints anyway. I don't care if it goes in all uppercase, but so there we go. Now that at least I got those in, but it was, you see that it was not easy. It was very difficult, and you can't do any kind of harder turns. So yeah, so that's a weird one. So let's go ahead and save that. See if it takes. Let's go back to details. Okay, so at least we got that part in. Okay, so it did re-upper that first part, which is fine. I mean, I don't know why it has to be an uppercase, but the motto, like, why they think that's okay, I don't know. It's a thing, commanders. There is some shenanigans going on there. Now, the application requirements is that we don't have any. So, you know, you just sign up. Hey, Urban, have a great night, buddy. 07 to you again. You can watch later. You can see my shenanigans. You can see my struggles here. Languages. Yeah, we don't speak any. We don't. I'm sure we might have some speakers of some of those other languages. I don't really know exactly which time zones, but I just picked one because we don't really play 24 hours. Some of the guys do, but you know. Okay, so then recruitment, accepting. Okay, so we're all good there. We're really good there. So supporting faction, vortex continuum. Yep, that's our power. You can pick a power. Let me just check on the. Let's go back one. I just want to see if that thing is still changed and how bad that's going to screw up everything. Oh, no, I didn't want leaderboard. Yeah, some of these leaderboards have been off too because I guess it's short. It did do a short season, and I think people had a bunch of stuff stored up and they just turned it in for the new season. So there was like some people with like billions. There's a lot of shenanigans going on in this squadron standings thing. So I don't know if that's something they're addressing. I hope they do. Whoop. Oopsies. Let me go back to edit identity. Okay, so your identity thing is okay. The artwork, there's not, you can't like resize any of this stuff. So it's just, I mean, so it's okay. It's it'll do, but it's not where I need it to be. But it does allow you to make a squadron logo. I've actually got this squadron logo on everything. I recreated one for t-shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. The artwork's available on the Discord if you need it. So you can do that. We want to go back. So we don't need to change that. You can put in a banner. The banners are okay. You know, like I said, this is a decent system. It's just that you can't resize anything or adjust it or move it up or down, or like these stars if you wanted to flip them and have them go underneath, or if you can't put words, stuff like that. So there's some challenges there that may be addressed in the distant future. Let me go back to the squadron details. Now, we may also have to log out and log back in because I did change. Oop, dang it. Keep going back to that, and that's not what I want. Squadron Bank, Squadron Browser, Leaderboards, Ranks and Permissions. We'll get back to that. So far, so good. I mean, yeah, we're here. I'll figure out where the other thing is there in a minute. Where's the thing I changed where I changed the... When I changed the detail or the squadron tag? I don't remember. Anyway, commanders, I need to take a couple minute break. I'll be right back, and then we'll get back into this.
Cupness in the lab, she's conjuring spells. Nightly's in the mix, and the Targoid's hell. Guardian pylons, light him up quick. Descendant of salvation, she ain't one to trick. Avenging the witch, she's riding on fate. Nanite, pylons open Targoid gates. Guardians whisper secrets in the stars. Katniss rise, let the fury leave scars. Galactic sorcery, techno-alchemy. Tormented skies where Thargoids bleed. Designing fate with a nanite twist. Pain in the circuits they can't resist. Avenging the witch, she's riding on fate. Nanite, pylons open Thargoid gates. Guardians whisper secrets in the stars. Katniss rise, let the fury leave scars. Galactic sorcery, techno-alchemy. Tormented skies where Thargoids bleed. Designing fate with a nanite twist. Pain in the circuits they can't resist. Avenging the witch, she's riding on fate. Nanite, pylons open Thargoid gates. Guardians whisper secrets in the stars. Katniss rise, let the fury leave scars. Stars remember, the witch ain't gone. Katniss fights strong till the dawn. Echoes of vengeance in a night glow. Thargoid titans meet their woe. She brews up vengeance, cauldron bubbles. Pylons charge, causing Thargoid troubles. Bloodline of warriors, no fear in sight. Darkness falls, but she's ready to fight. Of vengeance, cauldron bubbles. Pylons charge, causing Thargoid troubles. Bloodline of warriors, no fear in sight. Darkness falls, but she's ready to fight.
Alrighty then. Okay, we're back. Okay, so yeah, we're let's see, we're looking at squadron brow. Let's see what happens here. I wonder now because I changed that squadron tag. Let's see, VX. SN. Let's see what happens there. If it changed it. Actually did. So yeah, okay. Now I'm wondering if the carriers changed too. Let's see. If it's yeah, okay. So it actually, that should change it. So that's pretty interesting. Still got to be unique. Now I didn't try more than 4 characters either. There may be more or less. You might even be able to do 3. I don't know. That's weird. Let me see the Squadron Carrier, because that should show you, okay, so it still says VS99 on the carrier. I don't know if that's going to translate over, but the carrier still says it's VS99, at least on this part. Now that may be because, let's do this, we also need to make sure we do, let's go ahead and escape, let's go exit, we're going to go back in, going to go to main menu. Let's go back and go to, let's go to continue, and then private group, and then we'll come down here, Connect to the private group session. And let's see if it changed that squadron name. Well, yeah, Sarge will be all excited because we've been talking about this for a couple days. All right. So let's do, okay, VSS Phoenix Raven. Okay. Carrier services. Oh, and let's see if we got if the name changes. No, didn't change. So, well, that's interesting. So that's interesting. So, but when you look up the squadron now, it did change in the squadron. It just hasn't changed on the carrier. So, I don't know that if that's going to be the way it is, then they should let you. It should change it on the carrier as well, because it's a valid serial, so it should be fine. Now I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if in here. Let's go into the library. Just want to see what it looks like in here real quick. There's a lot to unpack in there. This could take a whole day by itself, maybe a whole month. Who knows? Yeah, we haven't broke it yet, but it may get broken at some point. Uh-oh. It's thinking. It's thinking heavily because we changed something. And it may just take time. Yeah, so it still thinks... Yeah, so the carrier number didn't change. But the squad did. So the squad one's changed. So if you want to look it up, you got... Now we got to... I'm going to have to fix that, but... We'll get to that shortly. Identification. Okay. Back. So it did not change the carrier name. So hopefully that's something that they'll work out, because that's really what I wanted. I want the squadron name and the carrier name to be the same, or the ID number. Or if they're going to allow us to do smaller ID numbers or larger ID numbers, I doubt they'd go smaller, but maybe larger. Yeah, it may. Yeah, you're right, Sarge. It may take until the next update before it switches, but we got it switched in that one place, so that was nice. And I know I can switch it on the Discord, so I'll probably switch it on the Discord too. And if it lets me keep it, I'll love it. I don't care if the carrier's number is not the same exactly, because it doesn't really affect anything. It's more for advertising. I believe someone suggested, maybe Sergeant. Yeah, I know it was Sergeant. But that we have those call letters on our carrier instead of VSS, which I still kind of like. I like VSS as well, but I also like if you want to be able to put the full name. And I hope it sticks. So I wouldn't change anything just yet, Commanders, but, you know, just wait and make sure I didn't, you know, just break something really badly, really poorly. So, okay, where were we? We were looking at, oh, no, we want out of here. We're going to need to go back to Squadron, right? Because there's just some shenanigans. There's just some quality of life things that need to be put in here because this is ludicrous, some of this. Okay, so there it is, VXSN, yep. Mining stream. Boy, you really must be bored. 07 to you there, Atlas Rand. Yeah, I saw part of that. I couldn't watch it because you weren't talking the whole time. So, but I did see part of that yesterday. So let's see. So we got applications. There's people trying to get in. Who's this guy? Brew, you're in, buddy. No, I don't want to revoke it. Oh, it's already been approved. Everybody's approved. Star-Lord Atlas. Wonder who that could be. Yeah, they're all approved. All right. So anyway, yeah, we got some of that going on. Some of this stuff works great, but, you know, some of it's just annoying, especially with descriptions not being allowed to do. And I know the leaderboards are messed up. You would too, no. Who else would use Atlas? Ranks and permissions. Okay, so like I said, I keep it real simple. Like when you first join, you get this one. If you do the 3, if you sign up on Inara, and then the in-game and the Discord, then I give you a wing commander. Wing navigator is a wing commander with navigation rights to the carrier, which we don't have any yet. And it's like would be a special, like a temporary access more than anything. Just like, you know, if somebody needed to, if I needed somebody to move the carrier or do something, or they wanted to move it for some reason, I could give them access to do it if I wasn't going to be available or whatever. All the wing leaders have access to the navigator. The squadron leader, that's those are me and Highlander, and then flagship command is just whoever's the actual commander. Legatus, yeah, you're not getting that. Whatever that is, that you ain't getting it. So that is pretty simple, and then you can set what each level can do as far as in the squadron. And then with the bank, it also relates to the bank as far as what the bank can get away with. So, Tongues, what's up, man? Good to see you. I'm glad you jump in just for the 07, man. Like and lurk. I like it. Like and lurk. Yeah, I love my lurkers. Let's give the lurkers some love right now. I'm gonna send some loves. Oops. Send some hearts out. There we go. There's lurker love right there. Yeah, so I keep that simple. So that part, I haven't really found any issues with that, but I didn't change anything because my squad was converted from the old squadrons to squadrons 2, and boom, it was all fine. All I had to do was go through and go through the, go through like all the bank stuff and all that. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with that just yet. We'll figure out. We'll figure out some of this later because I don't know if people are even going to need it. Wow, you're a trooper, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to give you a GG. You're all right. You're maybe you can come over and fix my recording computer too. That'd be great. All right, so so Squadron Bank, I think is mostly pretty straightforward. I didn't see too much wrong with this. A lot of it I don't know that our squadron's going to use. I see people are still donating. Appreciate that. To the squadron upkeep, which is where I believe that's at. Yeah, so they're all going into the so people with the squadron upkeep, that's just there until, as right now I don't. You have to move that money from the bank to the carrier. So right now the carrier itself, I think, has like 2 billion in it, so it doesn't need the upkeep. So that number doesn't pull from there. Yeah, I don't know if that's something they're going to allow us to like hook the bank up to the carrier so you can pull the money from the, because you can basically set up different categories of monies. So if people want money for this, that, and the other thing, they can do that. But this carrier upkeep one is one that's pretty amazing. And then there's commodities one. And the tritium. Now the tritium, I heard a rumor that you can overstock the tritium in the carrier, but we don't have that right now. It's just full. I wasn't able to go over the amount. I just filled it up, and there's a little bit left over. I can put more tritium in there or whatever. We can take monies from the commodities funds or the upkeep funds and buy tritium with it. Yeah, the perks are great. There's a lot of good perks in there actually. I haven't gone over all of those, I don't think. Where is that? Is that in the bank? Or where the hell is that? Oh, I always got to look up here because sometimes there's shenanigans. Oh God, it does. Okay, so that is legal. What I did was legal, but it didn't say I could change the carrier ID. I wonder. We're gonna have to look into that a little deeper. Yeah, there's some really good ones in there. Right now, I think, and we should have switched them yesterday because you can only change them every 24 hours, though. But there's a lot of good perks in there, too. And I don't have any issues with any of the perks currently. There's a couple that are shut off, or at least one that's shut off right now. I can't remember what it is, but it wasn't one that we would normally use anyway. So I didn't, I kind of blew that one off. Squadron details. Okay, so here's where okay, so that's still sticking. That's okay. I'm shocked that it let me change that. But so, yeah, hopefully the carrier will follow at some point. That way you can find the carrier easily. Well, I mean, that's basically what I'm doing here today is we're just talking about that, what challenges I've had. Now, I didn't have to set up my squadron. It got converted. So I didn't have to do the entire process, right? I just got in there. It said, hey, we're converting, blah, blah, blah. And then it said, okay, we're done. And then it said I could do whatever. So we're on colonization delivery profits right now and faction influence gains. So that's interesting. Yeah. And this one's a big one for like Sergeant and Dino and Kinger North. That's good for them. And then the increased faction influence gains. Not sure that we actually need that one, but there's these wing ones, these increased wing trade rewards. So I guess if you're sharing wing stuff with your buddies or whatever, and then we should have turned this one on yesterday. Increased wing combat rewards, because that would have given us a little bit extra when we were out fighting. We were fighting yesterday. So yeah, so there's that. Yeah, they're not letting us do the minor factions. That's what you're talking about. It's a minor faction. We already had one. See, we already have the Vortex Continuum, which is kind of the business arm of the Vortex Squadron, and the Vortex Squadron is the military arm of the Vortex Continuum. So those two go together. But I think they still need to let us, at some point, they need to let us create new ones. Maybe if they don't want, a million people doing it, they need to charge for it, obviously. And then they need to have you put in your application for what kind of faction you want. Yeah, and in control, yes, I get that. Yeah, we've had the Vortex Continuum since at least 8 years. So we used to do the BGS and all that stuff. We know about all that. But we even have the system. I don't remember where you see it though. But we can actually see it in the Galaxy map, I think. Let's go to LTT 7126. And if you look at most of the stuff, it says that 7126, it says that this is our origin system. Okay, we had this made a long time ago. So LTT 7126, you've got... Now there's somewhere, I don't remember where, you can see it's exploited. Oh, oh God, Zemina, come on, man. That Atlas, that's your girl, man. That's your girl is exploiting our system over there. Let me see what else. There was a way at one point, way back in the day, where you could literally see the stats on this system, and we had a little spiel that we were able to put in, like, kind of explaining what the Vortex Continuum was and all this stuff. We did all that a long time ago. I'm trying to think if I find it every now and then, but let's go in here and see if it's in here anywhere. Here we go. Vortex Continuum, guns for hire, pirates, mercenaries, bounty hunters, and vigilantes. They support any cause, power, or faction that offers profit and blood. See, that we made a long time ago. Is that still a thing, Max? I haven't checked it today. 07 to you, by the way, Max. Yeah, I went off about the limpets the other day. I haven't got to that part yet. We're working our way around there. So see, you can see it here. And the Continuum is not in charge of the system. Look, we got one of One of our fleet carriers is here. Oh, the DBN Executor. Haven't seen that guy in a long time. Still happening, huh? Yeah, they didn't fix that. They didn't notice that, and they didn't go over that in the patch notes. So yeah, I didn't, and I don't know if this you have to be in a ship that has a Olympic control or it won't work. I don't know if this one has one. I think it might. Let me just see. Let's see. Is there? Okay, there's Olympic controller in here. Let's do that. That's just, we're just checking it for the funsies, guys. Okay, just to be making sure that that is true. True. Oh, come on, FDev, come on. My boys, they need limpets. They can't live without limpets. You boys are killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. All right, so there you go. There's bitched about it again, Max. 07 to you. All right, so now, before we get too much further, I say that we need to have a little fun. And we need to rate my thumbnail for today's video. Let's do it. We've got Karina Hale with us today. She's the one trying to figure all this squadron stuff out. With a picture of the beautiful Phoenix Raven Squadron Carrier. Solid 7 from Atlas. You don't like her little purple pauldrons or what? I think that's pretty good. Oh, Slow Walker just gave me an oh yes. He didn't even bother. He's just like, oh yes, that's the one. That's where we need to be. So I'm gonna call that a 10. That's a great. Look at that. It's got the new Squadron logo in it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Which now you can buy. You can get T-shirts. If you want to buy them from me, that's fine. But you can also take the artwork and go get your own made somewhere else if you want to do that. Looks great. Okay, thank you, Max. Looks great. All right, yeah, that's a good thumbnail. Yeah, Carino just joined the squadron, so she's just starting. But she said she's going to help us get our squadron in order. Because, you know, it needs to be in order. Oh, yeah, I redid the logo. Yeah, see? I don't just look pretty, Atlas. I do work. You ask the boys. I do work. I do artwork like crazy. Oh yeah, it's in game too. It's on the walls, it's on the floors, it's on everything. It's in the turlet. When you're sitting at the turlet, there's a little Vortex logo right in front of you. You can just sit down on the can and check it out while you're doing your business. All right, hot nuts. Where the hell? 07 to you. I can't give you an 07 on this screen. Listen, man, you need to come back into the Discord, man. We need you. And an 8 from Hot Nuts. Yeah, there you go. See, that's everybody's got a Vortex in their toilet. As long as it flushes. Unless it's an outhouse, like probably Highlander has an outhouse. So. Oh, a 10 from Sarge. I just never know if Sarge is trolling me or if he's serious. You tap that? All right, Max Wedge, give it an 8. All right. You're tapping? Tap it. Yeah, so we'll get back into some more shenanigans here in a minute. So yeah, I was wanting to go over some of this stuff. Like I said, my sound. Now I think you guys hear the sound okay. It's just I'm not hearing the sound okay. It's bugging me. So I'm gonna have to fix it. And I think it's just because over time I've installed and uninstalled and reinstalled and did all kinds of stuff to this computer. And I think it's just suffering because of it. Just noticed there's a carrier there over in LTT. Yeah, LTT. We're still, you know, I mean, it's our minor faction that. Now, I don't care if the minor faction has. I mean, you would if you create a new minor faction, it would have to have an origin. So they would have to do that. They would have to make sure that wherever wherever you make an origin, like, so what you'd want to do is you'd want to build your system that you're going to have for your, oh yeah, there's a carrier. Yeah, there is a, yeah. I was like, what? Okay, yes. There is a carrier back there. Yeah, it's the fleet carrier that I'm on right now. And actually that little, the lit up pad is my, Panther Clipper is sitting on that pad. And I wished it would have been the 07 pad, but it wasn't. I think it was the 08 or something. Anyway, back to business, back to work. All right. Yes, Max. Good job, man. Good job noticing that fleet carrier back there. You did a good job. There you go. You got a great going. All right. So, yeah. So apparently we'll find out if the carrier switches later. I hope it does, because that's the number of letters. So what we would do in that case, if that changes, is what Sergeant wants to do. And I'm not going to force people to do either one, but we probably should change in the carrier management at the beginning of your carrier name. Instead of VSS, you could also do, oh, there it is, guys, it switched. It changed the carrier name. Okay, we're good. So what I would do then in that case is I would go to the library, go to your carrier, and then go in here, and we would change the name from VSS. We would go VXSN, as in Nancy. Okay, Phoenix Raven. There, that's actually, I know Sarge is really going to like this. Okay, VXSN. That's what we should do. And I'll have to fix, I'm sure that I'll have to fix it on Anara and stuff. I don't know how long, I don't know, Anara is probably not equipped to handle that, but we'll see. But I'll try to reconnect the squadron to back in Anara, and I will change the Discord letters too. I think I can do that. Let me see. I think let's go here and then go to Discord. You guys can see all my secret stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go in here. Go to, see, I got the squadron fixed here, and then we want, where's this? Hold on. There's some shenanigans. Hold on. Nope. Okay, hold on. Where's the server settings? No, that's user settings. Where's the server one? Oh, I know why. Here, let's go here. There we go. Server settings. Oop, can't. Oop, what the hell? Hold on a minute. Server settings. And then in here, the boost perks. This one, let's see. Oh, look at that. See, I got two new. Oh, yeah, look at that. Ooh, my good Lord. Let's see. Stickers, soundboard, members rules. All right, where the hell is it? Server tag. We want to change this to same thing. VXSN. Save it. Okay, now let's see if in here, if any of the boys. Okay, I don't see their server tag. You might have to readopt the server tag, boys. So, yeah. So if you do readopt it, it should show up back in your, it might take time to propagate, but yeah. So basically I just changed the server tag. So I have to reconnect those at some point, but now they match. Won't Sergeant be like thrilled? I bet you he's thrilled. He'll be like, woohoo. I don't know. The Highlander's around. He's not, I don't think he's watching the stream. He's probably watching the stream. He's probably lurking, but he's in there. So is El Kabong and Major Disaster and Atlas. Okay, so there is some infiltration going on there because Atlas is in there. He's probably driving them all nuts. That's what he does. He goes in there. Rah, 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 and then they go, that guy's an asshole. All right, Sergeant. Good job, man. Are you happy, Sarge? Are you thrilled that I fixed that issue for you? Because I know this was a burning issue for you. You run me over the coals trying to get me to fix that. All right, that's a much better. Yeah, it's still not updated here yet, but it should, because it updated on the other place, so it'll get updated here too. which technically, yeah, you could, yeah. So technically on the fleet carrier, you don't necessarily need to do the bracket thing, but it still shows up better. Now we can have uniformity. That's right. That's right.
That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
I think
you
Sarge
are
has an
goddamn
IQ
gifted.
of
You're a
160.
goddamn genius.
You're a goddamn genius, Sarge. That was a great idea that you came up with. So yeah, man, we fixed something today. That's amazing. Now the other day I was doing that. I was trying to change those letters, and it kept telling me unknown error. But now it seems to be working. As long as the letters are available, I like that they give us the opportunity to change them. He's trying, yeah, yeah. He's trying to make an HOA in space. Tongues is absolutely correct. He wants an HOA. Sergeant's military, like real military. I work for the government, but he's military. So it's got to be like always focus the power. Always look eye. That's him. He don't fuck around. He's on this stuff. All right, so now. All right, boys, was there anything else I needed to cover today? I'm not even sure. I'm confusing myself because there's so much to unpack. And yes, there's so much that they need to fix. And guys, I know they're not done with this thing. They obviously, they did the best they could. They obviously delayed it for a little time because they weren't done. Thank God they delayed it, at least so that most of the core systems seem to work okay, except for that limpet thing, right? And there may be other things. And the leaderboards, I know, are all out of whack. Now, that may take a cycle to clear itself up. But so, yeah, there's just a lot going on. There's still a lot we have left to learn. And I hope you guys learned something maybe about this fleet carrier. It's not as, you might think you want it for colonization as a solo. You might, but it's not as easy as there's still an issue with trading materials back and forth that's not been fixed yet. Smibble 07 to you. Welcome on in. Glad to see you today. So you might want to, there's just things that aren't quite ready for prime time just yet. And I think, didn't I turn that? I think I also have, I think I even have commanders. Oh yeah, I do. I have a watermark now. You can see it down underneath on the right. Yeah, so there's a watermark. And that one's updated as well. But in any event, don't really need it right now. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of things, and and it's getting better. Yeah, so they've already done some stuff that they had to do, obviously. And I'm hoping that they just keep continuing to make it better and better over time. Just let them know, the more of these that get purchased, the more likely they are to update them. Now, I guess I can't really say that because everybody owns a fleet carrier. They've never really done a whole lot of editing to the original fleet carriers. But the original fleet carriers are just fine. The nice thing about these, if you have a squadron, is that you don't necessarily have to pay for everything yourself. I could just say, hey, look, the upkeep's getting low. We've got a lot of upkeep in there right now, so we got about 6 billion in it. So that's probably enough for like a while. The maintenance is a little bit higher, but it's not double. I know people are saying it's double, triple. No, it's not. It's a little bit higher, at least right now. We're going to turn on probably some more features. And over time, I'll turn on even more features. It just depends on what the boys want to pay for. If they want to pay for the whole shebang, I don't care. Because it's not, as long as it's not coming out of my pocketbook, I don't care. Not that I can't afford it. I can for a long time. But, that's okay. It's nice. So literally, I don't have to get rid of a personal carrier. I can keep it. And it's also great for when you go to war with another faction. Or another minor faction, especially in the BGS, because then you can bring a show of force. You can bring all your carriers in. And that's one thing I do want to talk about soon. I'm going to talk about the parking issue because technically right now it's too easy for players to clog a system to where you can't even get in them. And that can cause some issues, especially like if you're building a system but you accidentally built it too good to start out the gate and you haven't finished it yet. you're not even going to be able to park your own carrier in your own system to be able to finish it. So that's going to be a challenge. And I don't know how many, like if fleet carriers take up more spaces than regular carriers as far as the number of parking spots in a place. So we'll see that too. We'll probably see a lot of flagship carriers coming out and going to these places. And it may, I don't know if it takes up more room. It shouldn't, technically. And you see my air quotes there because it shouldn't do that. But if it does, that's going to be an issue too, because then there's going to be even less parking available to do some of these things. Because everybody just wants to bring their carrier over to wherever the event is. That people that have carriers, I know somebody, I don't want a carrier. I don't care. It's not for you. It's not for you. But anyway, I'm just making a joke. So, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a thing. So there's a lot to unpack, Commanders. So, like I said, we're going to continue to unpack it, and we're going to get to the bottom. We're going to get to the bottom of all this stuff. And I will not be doing a 24-hour mining stream. You guys can forget about that right now. I think it would have been a better served project to do a mining stream Atlas at when the new ship comes out after you coin it. Okay, good. All right, thanks, Max. I just wasn't sure yet. It's just something things just pop in my head, man. I always have questions, I always have lots of questions. I want to get to the bottom of it, and I hope that they do fix the carriage return thing, and I hope they fix the limpet thing. There's just some things that we need. We can't have a carrier that doesn't have freaking limpets. And please, let's make the bar special. Let's make it to where you can have different kinds of bars. Like you can have a casino, you can have a boxing ring, you can have whatever. I think they need to come up with some more ideas. You can have a strip club, you can have a dance club, strip dance club, whatever, just something. You know what I'm saying? That is a very personalized place on a fleet carrier, and that is something that you should. I mean, the Vistanomics, what are you going to do in there? Nothing, right? And the other ground gun guy, I don't care about him. I don't even do ground stuff, so I don't care about that one. But if the boys want it turned on, we'll get it turned on. We'll get the bar turned on, and then there should be something else. What was the fourth? Who knows what the fourth thing is that we're supposed to be able to put in there? And why can't we put more stuff? I want more stuff. Like Warframe, Warframe, you can build and build and build your clan, which is basically, this is a clan dojo, okay? You can build your clan dojo with all the stuff that you want. You see it's in the complete dark here. We are like, it's like freaking midnight around here. There we go. Now you can kind of sort of see it. But, yeah, I mean, so you should be able to build this thing out any way you want, with more options. Decorations, I'm sure they're going to come up with decorations. They already have decorations. Like they have the little plant that they put in the corners and stuff. I want to be able to put the plants where I want the plants. Okay, I don't care. And I want different plants. And I want pictures. I want to be able to interact with all the interactionable stuff in here. The vault door should open. Engineers, yes. That would be great. Be able to put the engineers in there. Actually, I wouldn't care if they did. I don't need the physical engineers, but they should have on the kiosk, should have the option to do your optionals on the kiosk. And whether that's a personal thing to your, I don't think maybe they won't just do it in the fleet carriers, because that might get a lot of backlash. But because, people that can't afford, for some reason, a carrier would be very pissed. So yeah, that may not work. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember somebody showed that where the vault door actually goes into space. Maybe they are going to make it interactable. Maybe that's why it's like that. Maybe they're going to have an attachment, but it's in a weird spot, right? Isn't it like on the, I can't remember where they saw it. Wasn't it on, I don't know. It was somewhere. It didn't, but anyway, yeah, it should be an attachment if nothing else. Or they should cover up the door on the outside. That would be probably better. But yeah, or it should have an attachment. And in that attachment, the vault could have interactions in it as well. It would be really cool to be able to do that. And like I said, and that jump room, that needs a lot of work. That thing is just terrible. It looks just like a tomb. I don't like it. The briefing room's cool, but those screens should be interactive, whether it's pictures or video. I mean, video is obviously better. Video may not be a thing because of you may not be able to do that because of bandwidth considerations, but pictures, you should be able to put pictures in there. You know, somebody takes a cool ass picture, like you want the picture of the week. What was the greatest picture somebody took in space this week? And you pop it in there or whatever. Let people populate that stuff with pictures or whatever, or make it a slideshow or whatever it is. And sure, the first time it loads each picture, it'll take a couple seconds, but hey man, you know, this is all just little things that would make us commanders so happy. We'd cry. There would be a little tear coming out my eyeball right now. Commanders, I've done my time. I appreciate you. I want to see all of you in game. Come and check out the fleet carrier. The fleet carrier is over in Erratic sector, XG-X B1-4. And I am so happy that we got some of this stuff figured out. Carrier on carrier action. Yeah. Yeah, and obviously, you know, eventually they might be able to do some things where you can actually do some sort of missions around the carrier, because the carrier is basically a space station that moves. That's about it. And they should make those space stations move too. The ones with the engines like Jax, those should move too. I'm just saying. That's why those engines are on there. They can move them around. Anyway, that would be another kind of fleet carrier, I guess. I was hoping they'd go more around for the mega ship. Instead of just a carrier, they do mega ships where we can actually own certain mega ships. Those look good for like wars and stuff, because then you can strategically place stuff. But like I said, until they figure out this parking thing, they really need to work out the parking. Now I know they did some fixing on it last year, but I'd really like to see that to where, you know, where it's not necessary to park so close. I mean, I know people are pretty lazy. They want to park right next door to whatever they're working at. I get it. I do it. But, you know what I'm saying? There's got to be a way to get around this parking issue. So, anyway. Commanders, as always, love you. 07s to you. And I will talk to you guys very soon.
Stardust in your hair, you're a cosmic dream. Flying through the space on a laser beam. Galactic whispers calling out your name. Vortex squadron lights up just the same. Planetary dance under nebulous skies, with a wink and a nod, diamond stars in your eyes. From the shadows of moons to the edge of the truth, Commander, you shine like a stellar sleuth. Wishing you all the best in the void out there. From the cosmic center, gotta feel that flare. Waiting to salute like a bright comet's tail. Commander will follow, no way we could fail. Black holes and quasars, they can't dim your light. Exploring the unknown till the final night. Through wormhole twists and nebulous form, we'll ride the pulsars in a galactic storm. Gravitational waves carry our creed. In the silent vacuum where whispers lead, our beacon is bright, it never will stray. Follow the trail into the Milky Way.